In the last video, I calculated that it would take 2 weeks of non-stop gameplay to beat Stepford County Railway. But why? Just like our real-life economy, SCR's economy has fallen victim to a phenomenon known as inflation. Since 2018, the prices in this game have vastly increased. The most famous example, aside from the Longer Trains Game Pass and the Class 345, is R102. This small line from West Wyvern to Rayleigh Bay costs 1,250 points. That's more than some trains, and almost as much as the average Connect train. Another good example of inflation is comparing Metro and Connect semi-fast route prices against all of the other operators except for Express. We notice that the newer Metro and Connect lines cost between 600 and 750 points, with just a few exceptions, while all the Connect lines, Waterline lines, and A-Link lines cost mostly 300 points, with a few costing 450 points, and a few extremely rare examples of 600 point routes on Connect. While we're on the Metro, it has another good inflated train I can talk about. Two actually, the Class 756 and Class 398. Aside from the battery mode and the short tram-link line, these two trains are just like the rest. The Class 756 costs almost 3,000 points, while the Class 398 costs 3,000 points, and another 800 for the double variant. Yep, you heard that right. Do you remember how A-Link and Waterline give you the short doubles like the 185 and 165 for free? Not Metro. Here, this incredibly short tram train, which is shorter in a double formation than most trains are in a solo formation, costs 800 points for a double variant. It's unbelievable. Speaking of double variants of existing trains, the Longer Trains Game Pass. I don't want to talk about the actual Game Pass as a whole here, but just one specific train. The Connect Class 185. On A-Link, you get the double 185 for free, because it's only 6 cars. Logical, right? It's still relatively short, it shouldn't be part of the Longer Trains Game Pass. Well, not on Connect. The Connect version of the double Class 185 is part of the Longer Trains Game Pass. If you want to drive a blue double 185 instead of an orange double 185, sorry fucko, you need to pay 1,000 Robux. Pay up. This is a perfect example of inflation in SCR. The same exact train, with a different paint job, costs you nothing on one operator, yet costs you 5 kidneys, aka 1,000 Robux, on the other operator. But wait! There's also a similar situation with the Class 377 and 387 on Connect. Someone who's actually sane, please tell me, aside from the seating layout and coach number, what is the actual difference, functionally, between these two trains? The Class 387 can run semi-fasts, and that's it. The Class 377 costs 1,500 points. The Class 387, on the other hand, costs twice as much, at 3,000 points. Now, maybe I could handle 387 being 2,000 points, or maybe even 2,250 points. But 3,000 points? That's just as expensive as the 802 on A-Link, and it's 750 points more expensive than most of the express trains, the only exception being the HST. For what is basically, if we're not lying to ourselves, the same goddamn train. You know what? Here, have another example. The Class 156. It costs 3,000 points. For what? It can't even run to Stepford. Let me get this straight. I get it's exclusive to Leighton Connect, but it's ridiculous that you are paying twice as much as every other train for half of the routes. Not even half. This one can barely do a third of all Connect routes for 3,000 points. Someone call Delta Squad. We have a severe nose candy problem in here. The point that I'm trying to make is, the SCR's prices are slowly going completely out of control. I mean seriously, the class 398 double costs 800 points on top of the 398. The 802 and 397 on A-Link are the 801 and 397 on Express with a different paint job, yet cost 750 points more. The class 185 double on Connect is the same train on A-Link with a different paint job, but hey, sorry fucko, you have to buy the Game Pass for it. You see where I'm getting with this? The game is slowly, and I do mean slowly, getting more and more expensive, and it's already too damn expensive. If you do nothing but grind with a guard on R029 at 7 points per minute, the average Connect train costs you 4 hours of nothing but driving, with perfect stops, not a single overshoot, and no delays with a guard. That much for a train is a bit silly. I don't even know what the point of this video was anymore. I just wanted to rant about inflation. At some point, and I'm not kidding, it would be easier to get a job at a convenience store, buy Robux, and then buy the trains you want, rather than grinding for them in SCR. Actually, yeah, let's calculate that. Currently, it takes 324 hours of the really painful, no-fun grinding method to get all of the points. The minimum wage in the United Kingdom is £12.70 per hour. If you work for 324 hours, you'll get £4,114 sterling. Let's just say it's £2,000 after taxes and some gambling expenses. If you spend all of it on Robux, that is 240,000 Robux. You can get 150,000 points for only 6,000 Robux, meaning drumroll please. If you spend all of that time working a minimum wage job in the UK, you can get everything in SCR and an additional 234,000 Robux to spend on literally anything else. Longer trains? Sure. Other random cash grabs? Sure. Several years of Croydon Pro? Sure. Not spend the entire £2,000 budget on Roblox and buy yourself a heavily used car but still working car instead? Why not? That's it for this video. Stop watching YouTube and go get a goddamn job. Join the channel to give one of those pounds from that job to me so I can keep making videos. Join the Discord server too if you like emojis of Toby and Transport Penguin snorting nose candy. Thank you for watching. I'll go detonate several high energy explosives in my bathtub now. Goodbye.